Hold on. Feel that? That heaviness in your chest you've been carrying lately. The one you don't talk about. The one no one knows you're fighting. You think it's confusion. You think it's stress. You think you're just tired. But it's not that. Something inside you is shifting. Your heart is changing in ways you haven't found the words for yet. The world feels different. You feel different. Your soul is searching for something, and you don't even know what it is. But I know, and what I'm about to tell you is going to explain every silent battle you've been experiencing. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is the moment before Allah transforms your entire life. Stay with me, because what I'm about to say next is the part you were meant to hear. Alternate cinematic version, even more emotional and slow. Listen for a moment. Just listen. Your soul has been talking to you lately, hasn't it? Not with words, with restlessness, with silent heaviness, with the feeling that something is changing inside me. You don't know what to call it, but I do. This is what it feels like when Allah is preparing to rewrite your destiny. Don't rush this moment. Stay right here, because this is your sign. The discomfort is a divine calling, not confusion. Sometimes, life starts feeling uncomfortable without any clear reason. You wake up and your heart feels heavy, not because something happened, not because of a fight, not because of bad news, but because your soul knows something your mind has not understood yet. You look at your life, and even though everything is fine, something inside you whispers, this is no longer where you belong. The room you once felt safe in now feels too small. The conversations you used to enjoy now feel empty. The places you used to run to now feel far away from who you are becoming. You try to explain it to yourself. But how do you explain a feeling that doesn't have words yet? So you stay quiet. You smile. You continue your routine. But inside, something is changing. Your heart is being pulled. Your chest feels tighter. Your breath feels heavier. Your thoughts feel louder. You think, why am I feeling like this? What is missing? What's wrong with me? But nothing is wrong with you. Something is happening through you. This is not anxiety. This is not pressure. This is not weakness. This is your soul waking up. You are being pushed out of the life you built from survival, into the life written for your purpose. And before Allah changes your life, He changes your heart. He makes you uncomfortable with what you once found comfort in. Because if He didn't, you would stay where your soul is suffocating. So the comfort is removed. The ease is removed. The emotional warmth is removed. Not to break you, but to move you. You begin to notice yourself withdrawing, not out of bitterness, not out of anger, but because your soul is retreating inward to listen, to hear the whisper it ignored for so long, the whisper saying, you were meant for more depth, more sincerity, more peace, more closeness with Allah, more truth in your relationships, more purpose in your days, more meaning in your existence. Your life is not shrinking. Your old life is simply no longer enough for your spirit. This is why your heart feels heavy. This is why your emotions feel raw. This is why your soul feels unsettled. Because Allah is preparing you for the moment where everything changes. And before that moment arrives, there is discomfort. There is silence. There is confusion. There is emotional shedding. There is breaking and rebuilding. But all of it is guided. You are not being abandoned. You are not being forgotten. You are not being punished. You are being redirected. And redirected souls don't move gently. They shift. They tremble. They ache. They awaken. Your heart is expanding. Your soul is unfolding. Your life is stretching beyond its old borders. And it hurts. Growth always hurts when you first feel it, because your soul is stepping into a version of life your body has not lived yet. This discomfort is the first step of transformation. There are nights where you lie awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling something changing inside you, but you don't know what it is. Your chest feels full. Your eyes feel heavy. Your heart feels tired. Not tired of living, but tired of pretending you're not meant for more. You scroll through your phone, but nothing distracts you. You talk to people, but nothing satisfies you. You try to laugh, but it doesn't reach your soul, because your soul is no longer interested in the temporary. It is seeking Allah, and the world cannot fill the emptiness that belongs only to Him. So Allah begins to separate you, not by force, but by making the wrong places uncomfortable. The conversations that once entertained you now exhaust you. The people you used to chase now drain you. The habits you once fell into now feel meaningless. Your soul is saying, return. Return to the one who wrote your heart. Return to the one who protected you in silence. Return to the one who never leaves. This discomfort is your soul remembering God. This heaviness is your spirit calling you back to Him. This shift is not the end of your life. It is the beginning of your real one, the one written before you were born, the one your heart has always been searching for, the one your soul recognizes even before you do. So, if your life feels uncomfortable right now, if you feel lost, overwhelmed, emotional, and unsure, you are not breaking. You are becoming. Becoming the person Allah always knew you were meant to be. And soon, very soon, this discomfort will make sense. This pain will reveal its purpose. This shift will show its beauty, because Allah does not awaken a heart unless He is preparing it for something greater. What once felt familiar will no longer feel like homey. There comes a time in your life when the places that once felt warm start to feel distant. The rooms that once felt safe no longer feel like they fit you. The friendships that once felt alive now feel like echoes of who you used to be. And it confuses you, because nothing bad happened. No big argument, no betrayal, no sudden change. Just a slow, quiet shift inside your heart. You look around at the life you built, and you feel like a guest inside it. You walk into the same home, the same streets, the same routines, but your soul is not there anymore. It's like your spirit has already moved ahead, and your body is trying to catch up. This is one of the most silent signs that Allah is transforming you. He doesn't always remove things loudly. He doesn't always take people away suddenly. Sometimes He simply makes the familiar feel unfamiliar, not to isolate you, but to reposition you. Because the version of you that once found comfort in these places no longer exists. You have changed in ways that even you have not realized yet. Your conversations begin to feel shallow. Your laughter feels different. Your silence feels heavier. Your need for meaning grows stronger. And you begin to notice you can't sit in the same circles anymore. You can't entertain the same distractions. You can't accept the same treatment. You can't pretend you don't feel what you now feel. Your soul is maturing. You are not better than anyone. You are simply awakening. Awakening to your worth. Awakening to your purpose. Awakening to what your heart truly needs. And sometimes, what your heart needs no longer exists where you once felt at home. So Allah pulls you away gently. He doesn't tear, losens, slowly, quietly, softly, until one day you look around and realize, I am not the person I used to be. There is and you grieve that. Because growth always comes with grief. You will miss your old self. You will miss old friends. You will miss old simplicity. You will miss old comfort. But you cannot stay where your soul has outgrown. If a plant grows, you must give it a bigger pot. If a bird matures, you must open its cage. If your soul expands, you must allow it to seek new space. This is not abandonment. This is transition. This is elevation. This is movement. Allah is preparing you for a life where your heart will feel understood, your soul will feel seen, and your spirit will feel at peace. But to reach that place, you must first leave the spaces where your soul feels compressed. And leaving is not easy. So Allah makes the old space uncomfortable. He makes it too small, too tight, too loud, too shallow, until staying hurts more than leaving. This is how Allah guides a soul. Not always by adding something new, but by removing the ability to stay where you no longer belong. You will not feel at home in your old life, because your heart has already stepped into your new one. There comes a night where you sit alone, and your heart whispers a truth you can no longer ignore. I can't stay here anymore. Not because the place is bad, not because the people are bad, not because anything is wrong outside you, but because something is changing inside you. Your soul is outgrowing the space it once called home, and that hurts in a way that is difficult to describe. It's a quiet kind of pain, a soft ache beneath the ribs, a longing you can't explain to anyone. You look at your life and you think, I should be happy. I have what I prayed for. I have what others wish for. But contentment escapes you. Peace slips through your fingers. Joy feels muted, distant, folded somewhere you cannot reach. You smile in front of others. You laugh when they laugh. You say, Alhamdulillah, because you mean it. You truly do. But when you are alone, your soul feels like it's standing in the doorway, between who you were and who you are becoming. This in-between place is not easy. It is lonely. It is confusing. It is emotionally heavy. You feel like you don't fully belong anywhere anymore. Not back where you came from, and not yet where you're meant to go. This is transition. This is rebirth. This is the middle of the bridge. And the middle of the bridge is always the hardest part. The familiar behind you is calling you back. The future ahead is calling you forward. But your heart knows. The old life cannot hold the version of you that Allah is forming now. So the familiar becomes uncomfortable. The past becomes heavy. The old conversations feel lifeless. The old habits taste bitter. The old identity begins to fade like a memory. And this is where people panic. They think they are losing themselves. But listen, you are not losing yourself. You are meeting yourself. The self beneath the burden. The self before the heartbreak. The self before the disappointments. The self that Allah always intended you to grow into. Allah is not taking things away from you. He is taking you away from things that no longer align with your soul. You are not being abandoned. You are being prepared. You are not being emptied. You are being reshaped. You are not being pulled away. You are being guided toward where you are meant to bloom. Because Allah does not move a soul unless He intends to place it somewhere better. So yes, your familiar places will start to feel unfamiliar. Your comfortable routines will start to feel tight. Your usual companionship will start to feel distant. Not because your life is falling apart, but because your heart is being lifted to a higher place. And soon, you will look back and whisper, if I had stayed where I was, I would have never met the person Allah was trying to introduce me to, my true self. This feeling, this restlessness, this quiet age, it is the soul saying, we are moving, and Allah is the one leading you. Allah breaks attachments before He rebuilds the heart. There will come a moment in your life when something you loved deeply, sincerely, with your whole heart, begins to fade from your hands. A person you thought would stay forever begins distancing themselves, slowly, quietly, silently. A habit that once comforted you no longer satisfies your soul. A dream you built your identity around no longer feels like yours. And you feel yourself breaking, not loudly, not dramatically, but in the quiet, silent spaces of your heart. You hold on tighter, you try to fix, you try to understand, you try to go back to how things were, but nothing works. And you begin to ask, Ya Allah, why is this happening? Why are you taking this away from me? Why now? Why like this? But listen, my dear heart, Allah does not break your attachment to hurt you. He breaks your attachment to free you, because there are loves you hold that were never meant to own you. There are people you kept close, even though your soul was shrinking around them. There are dreams you chased that were too small for the heart Allah is building inside you. There are places you stayed because your wounds recognized its walls as safety. You didn't stay because it was good. You stayed because it was familiar. And Allah knows, familiar pain is still pain. So He steps in, not always loudly, not always suddenly. Sometimes the separation begins slowly. The calls become shorter. The joy becomes quieter. The laughter stops reaching your chest. Your heart no longer settles in their presence. Your peace begins to drain around them. And you don't understand. You think you're losing something important. You think your heart is being emptied. You think your life is being undone. But the truth is, more beautiful than your pain can see right now. Your heart is being rewired. Your attachment is being gently loosened, not to leave you empty, but to make space for something purer, cleaner, softer, stronger. Allah is not just removing someone. He is rebuilding you. Your heart is being returned to Him. Because before Allah writes new love into your life, before He brings new peace into your soul, before He opens a door to your next chapter, He clears the room. He takes away the anchors that kept you tied to old pain. He takes away the illusions you built your identity around. He takes away the people you used to run to before Him, not because they were always bad, but because your heart gave them a place that belonged only to Allah. And Allah loves you too much to let your heart bow to something temporary. So the attachment breaks, even when you cry, even when you beg, even when you don't understand. You will cry over what you lost. You will grieve the version of you that existed with them. You will hold your chest when it gets too heavy to breathe. You will sit with tears that feel too big for your heart to hold. And Allah sees every tear. Not one falls without Him knowing. Not one ache goes unnoticed. Not one night of silent pain is forgotten. You are not being punished. You are being cleansed. Your heart is being washed clean, and from everything that was blocking the love Allah wants to write into it. There is a version of you that cannot rise until this attachment is released. And Allah knows that version. He sees it. He is guiding you toward it. Even if the journey hurts right now, your heartbreak is not the end of your story. It is the birth of your new heart. There will be nights when your chest hurts in a way you cannot explain. You'll sit in silence, staring at nothing, thinking of everything. And your heart will feel like it's collapsing inward. Not because you're weak, not because you're dramatic, not because you're ungrateful, but because losing what your heart clung to feels like losing a piece of yourself. You try to distract yourself, but the ache follows. You try to sleep, but your thoughts stay awake. You try to move on, but your heart keeps turning back. And you whisper to yourself, why does this hurt so much? Because you didn't just lose a person, or a dream, or a habit. You lost a version of yourself that existed with it. And the loss of self is one of the most painful transformations a soul can experience. But listen, the things Allah removes are never the things that were meant to stay. If it was written for you, it would not slip away. If it was good for your soul, it would not drain your spirit. If it was meant to grow with you, it would not fade as you evolve. Some things do not break because they are weak. They break because Allah is protecting your heart from what would have destroyed you later. You feel like something is being taken from you, but something is actually being returned to you. Your sense of self, your clarity, your dignity, your connection with Allah, your emotional freedom, your spiritual capacity to love without losing yourself. This loss is not just a loss. It is a release of dependency, a release of attachment, a release of identity built on something temporary. And in the quiet after the breaking, something strange happens. The pain softens, the tears slow down, the chest loosens, the breath deepens, not because you moved on, but because your heart is learning how to love without worshipping anything besides Allah. Your attachment is not dying, it is being redirected. Your love is not disappearing, it is being purified. Your soul is not empty, it is being prepared. This heartbreak is not the final chapter. It is the door to the chapter where your heart loves without begging. Your heart connects without clinging. Your heart gives without losing itself. Your heart worships without mistaking creation for the Creator. This is what Allah is doing. He is freeing your heart so He can fill it with something truer and softer and stronger and safer and more eternal. You are not breaking. You are being reborn, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to become. And one day, you will look back at this pain with tears in your eyes and gratitude in your soul, and you will whisper, "Ya Allah, thank you for taking me away from what I could not walk away from myself." Your restlessness means your spirit is waking up. There are seasons in your life where you can't rest the way you used to. Your sleep becomes shallow. Your thoughts become heavy. Your heart feels full, but not in a peaceful way. It's like something inside you is buzzing, vibrating, moving, but you don't know why. You look at your life, and everything looks the same, but nothing feels the same. You sit alone, and your heart whispers things you never allowed yourself to think before. Your soul is speaking, but it doesn't speak with words. It speaks with restlessness, that tightness in your chest, that strange emptiness, that ache that makes no noise, but echoes through every part of you. That is not depression. That is not confusion. That is not emotional instability. That is your soul saying, "I am waking up." You are starting to see life differently. Things you accepted before no longer sit right with your spirit. Things you used to tolerate now feel like poison. Things you used to chase now feel meaningless. This shift is not an accident. Allah is stirring your soul. When Allah wants to transform a heart, He does not always send a sign from the outside. He changes something inside you first. You begin to crave something deeper, something real, something pure, something that the world cannot give you. You start looking at life with different eyes. The conversations that once entertained you now feel shallow. The distractions that once numbed you no longer work. The relationships that once felt necessary now feel draining. This is not you being dramatic. This is not you being distant. This is not you being cold. This is your spirit rejecting what is not meant for your next chapter. Your heart is beginning to remember something your mind forgot. You were not created for this world alone, and that's why you feel torn. Part of you is still living your old life, but your soul is already moving toward a new one. And the in-between is uncomfortable. You feel like you're floating, not here, not there, just suspended in a space where you don't know what to hold on to anymore. But the truth is, you are not meant to hold on to anything right now, except Allah. This restlessness is a call back to Him. You are being pulled away from conversations that darkened your heart, from circles that lowered your spirit, from habits that numbed your soul, from versions of yourself that you outgrew quietly. Your soul refuses to shrink again. It refuses to pretend again. It refuses to go numb again. You cannot go back. You are not who you were before this awakening. And yes, it's painful. Yes, it's confusing. Yes, it feels like being stretched beyond what your heart can hold. But your soul is tearing its way out of a version of life that was never meant to contain it. You are being prepared for something you have not seen yet, but your heart feels coming. And the heart always feels arrival before the eyes ever witness it. So when the restlessness comes, do not run from it. Do not silence it. Do not bury it. Sit with it. Let it speak. Let it teach. Let it unfold, because this restlessness is your spirit rising from its sleep. Your heart is not breaking, it is waking. There are nights where you don't want to talk to anyone, not because you don't love them, not because something is wrong, but because you are listening. Listening to the silence inside you. Listening to the unsettled feeling you can't explain. Listening to the quiet tug pulling your heart in a direction you cannot see yet. Others may think you are distant, cold, detached, but they do not understand. You are not distancing yourself from people. You are returning to yourself, because something inside you knows that the life you once lived no longer fits the person you are becoming. You find yourself having conversations that suddenly feel too heavy for your tongue. Places you once ran to now feel like noise. Faces you once trusted now feel unfamiliar. The world keeps moving, but your heart is standing in the doorway, trying to choose which direction to walk. And you ask yourself, why do I feel like this? What is happening to me? Why does everything feel different? Because your soul is remembering Allah, not with words, not with reminders, not with lectures, but with longing, a longing that aches quietly, a longing that pulls softly, a longing that cannot be described, only felt. This restlessness is not a sign that something is missing in your life. It is a sign that something is returning to your heart. Your fitra, the pure part of your soul, is resurfacing, the part of you that always knew Allah, the part of you that lived in peace before the world scarred you, the part of you that has never stopped whispering, "Come back." This awakening does not come like lightning. It comes like dawn, slow, soft, silent. The sky does not go from darkness to sunlight in one moment. There is a breathless, quiet transition. And that is what your heart is experiencing. You are in the dawn of your soul. Everything feels unclear. Everything feels half-lit. Everything feels uncertain. But the light is coming. You are being guided gently, lovingly, patiently, because Allah never rushes the soul that is returning to Him. He unfolds you slowly. He awakens you gradually. He softens you quietly. So, if your heart feels restless, if your life feels too small now, if your spirit feels like it is stretching beyond the skin of your past, do not be afraid. This is not the end of your peace. This is the beginning of it. Your soul is stepping out of who the world forced you to be and returning to who Allah always designed you to be. And the journey back to Allah is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is a quiet unraveling of everything that was false and a quiet rebuilding of everything that is real. So let the restlessness stay. Do not try to silence it. Do not try to numb it. Do not try to run from it, because it is not your enemy. It is your compass. It is the sign that your soul has smelled home, and home is Allah. Silence becomes the place where Allah speaks the loudest. There will come a moment in your life when Allah pulls you away from the noise of the world, not because He wants you to be lonely, but because He wants to speak to you. But His voice is not loud. It does not come in thunder or earthquakes or dramatic signs. It comes in silence, the kind of silence where your heart suddenly becomes louder than your surroundings, the kind of silence where your thoughts begin to slow down, the kind of silence where your soul feels exposed, open, fragile, but awake. You may not understand why your life becomes quieter. Your phone stops ringing as much. The people you once spoke to every day fade away. The invitations become fewer. The world that once felt so busy becomes still, and it scares you at first. Because we are used to noise. Noise gives us distraction, and distraction makes us feel alive. But silence confronts us with ourselves. It shows us what we've been running from. It reveals wounds we didn't want to feel. It exposes attachments we didn't want to acknowledge. It holds up a mirror to our heart and says, look at what you've been carrying. Look at what has been hurting you. Look at how long your soul has been tired. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of truths you never had space to hear. Full of emotions you never had space to feel, full of guidance you never had space to receive. When Allah isolates you, He is not taking your life away. He is returning yourself to you. Because somewhere along the journey, you lost parts of yourself in people, in expectations, in disappointments, in trying to survive. Your heart became heavy. Your spirit became dull. Your purpose became blurred. So Allah quiets your world, so you can hear your soul again. You will notice in that silence, your heart starts remembering prayers it once forgot. Your mind begins to see life differently. Your tears come more easily, not from sadness, but from recognition. Recognition of Allah's nearness. In silence, He heals what words cannot. He rearranges what you cannot express. He strengthens what you didn't even know was weak. Your mind rests. Your heart breathes. Your soul sits softly in the hands of its Creator. And it is here, in this quiet, inward turning, that you realize Allah was never far. You were just surrounded by too much noise to notice Him. The world made your heart loud. Silence makes your heart clear. And when the heart becomes clear, it sees Allah everywhere, in the sunrise you never noticed, in the way the breeze touches your skin, in the rhythm of your breathing, in the stillness of the night when everyone else is asleep, in the tears that fall without a reason, except that your soul is returning home. This silence is not loneliness. This silence is a meeting between you and the one who never left you, even for a heartbeat. Your heart may tremble, your chest may feel heavy, your soul may feel raw, but this is where Allah sits with you, not in the noise, not in the crowds, not in the chaos, but here, in this quiet, tender, sacred space, where only He and your heart exist. You didn't choose the silence. Allah chose it for you, because He knew this was the only place. Your heart could finally hear Him say, I am here. I am here. There will be nights where you sit alone, and the world feels distant. Your room is dim, the air is still, and for the first time in a long time, you can hear your own heart. It is in these quiet hours, when no one is calling you, when no one is asking anything of you, when the world has finally stopped tugging at you, that Allah begins to unfold you. Not quickly, not all at once, but gently, like dawn breaking the night. You will feel memories return, not to break you, but to show you what needs healing. Faces will come to mind, not to make you miss them, but to teach you what your heart is made of. Emotions will rise to the surface, not to drown you, but to release you. Silence has a way of taking the wounds you hid and placing them in your hands. Not so you can hurt again, but so you can finally let them go, because you cannot heal what you refuse to face, and you cannot hear Allah when your heart is full of noise. So He empties your world, not to punish you, but to prepare you, to prepare your heart to feel again, to prepare your soul to breathe again, to prepare your faith to deepen again. In silence, you learn things about yourself you were never able to see when life was loud. You learn how much you depended on others for validation. You learn how often you ignored your own heart. You learn how much pain you carried quietly. You learn how far you drifted from Allah without realizing it. And instead of feeling angry or ashamed, you feel something unexpected. You feel soft. Your heart softens. Your defenses lower. Your ego crumbles. Your sincerity returns. And in the softness, in the fragility, in the quiet surrender, Allah comes closer, because Allah is closest to the broken, the tired, the humbled, the quiet-hearted. In silence, you realize you were never alone, you were never abandoned, you were never forgotten. Allah was simply waiting, and for your world to become still enough, for your heart to finally hear Him. The silence you feared was actually the place of reunion, a reunion between you and the version of yourself that remembers Allah deeply, the version of yourself that once prayed with tears, spoke to Him with honesty, trusted Him with your entire heart. The silence did not take people away from you. It brought you back to you, and you, the real you, it belongs with Allah. So when life becomes quiet, when you feel alone, when you don't know what to say, what to feel, or where to go, place your hand on your heart and know this silence is not empty. It is full of Allah. He is not teaching you to be alone. He is teaching you to be with Him. The old version of you must die for the new one to rise. There comes a point in your life when the person you have been begins to feel too small for the soul you are becoming. The things you once tolerated now feel unbearable. The ways you used to diminish yourself to fit in now feel suffocating. The habits you used to use to numb your pain no longer work. You look in the mirror and you see yourself, but you don't feel like yourself. It's like your soul is slowly stepping out of your old skin, and it hurts because no one teaches us that growth feels like grief. You don't just lose people on this journey. You lose versions of yourself. You lose the version of you that stayed quiet to avoid conflict, the version of you that loved too deeply without boundaries, the version of you that begged to be understood, the version of you that accepted less than what your heart deserved, the version of you that carried emptiness with a smile. You do not evolve peacefully. You evolve through breaking. You evolve through being cracked open from the inside. You evolve through watching parts of yourself fall away that you once thought were permanent. And it feels like dying, because, in a way, it is. A death is happening, not of your body, but of your old identity. The identity built from survival. The identity shaped by pain. The identity molded by fear. The identity formed from unmet needs and unhealed wounds. Allah is taking that version of you, the one that lived in scarcity, insecurity, and emotional hunger, and He is allowing it to crumble. Not to leave you empty, but to make space for the version of you that He designed before the world wounded you. And that transition is not graceful. It is messy. It is emotional. It is confusing. It is exhausting. Some days, you feel like you are dissolving. Other days, you feel like you are being rebuilt. Some days, you feel distant from the world. Other days, you feel more present than ever before, and no one around you understands. They keep asking, "What's wrong with you? Why are you so quiet? What changed?" But how do you explain that something sacred is happening inside you? How do you explain that your soul is rearranging itself? How do you explain that Allah is rewriting the way your heart feels, loves, trusts, and hopes? How do you explain that you are being reborn? The truth is, the old version of you was necessary. It kept you alive when your heart was weak. It helped you survive things you never speak of. It protected you when you didn't know how to protect yourself. But that version of you cannot go with you into the future Allah is preparing, so it must die, and its death will not be gentle. you will feel it in your chest, in your thoughts, in your prayers, in your tears, in the quiet moments when you stare at the ceiling and feel something shifting inside your bones. Your heart is shedding its old layers. Your soul is stepping into its true form. And even though it feels like you are breaking, you are being reshaped. You are not falling apart. You are being reconstructed, not from the outside, but from the deepest core of who you are. This is the kind of transformation that does not announce itself. It happens silently, internally, in the depths of your private heart, where only Allah sees, where only Allah understands, where only Allah is working. There will be nights where you sit with yourself and you don't recognize your own reflection anymore. Not your face, not your thoughts, not your reactions, not your desires. And a part of you whispers, "Where did I go?" But you did not disappear. You are simply not who you used to be. The person who once tolerated disrespect is no longer standing. The person who used to swallow pain just to keep peace has laid down their armor. The person who pretended to be fine just to avoid being alone has stopped performing. Something inside you has grown too strong to be confined to your old life. And the death of who you were is not gentle. It comes in waves. Some days you feel emptied out, like your chest is hollow, like your heart is tired of beating for the wrong things. Some days you feel heavy. Your emotions sit inside you like stone. You can't cry. You can't speak. You just sit. Other days, the tears come fast. Not loud, not dramatic. Just a quiet river that falls without permission. You don't cry because you lost something. You cry because something inside you is being released. Your old self is letting go. Letting go of the need to be understood. Letting go of the need to be chosen. Letting go of the need to be accepted by those who could never see your worth. Letting go of the stories you told yourself just to cope. And this letting go feels like heartbreak. But it is not heartbreak. It is rebirth. Allah is not breaking you to replace you. He is breaking you to reveal you. The you that existed beneath the survival. The you that existed beneath the fear. The you that existed before the world told you who to be. The you that your soul remembers. The you who was closer to Allah. And so your old self begins to die. The self that settled for crumbs. The self that apologized for taking up emotional space. The self that didn't know how to say no. The self that thought love meant abandoning your own heart. Allah loved you too much to let you stay that version. So He allowed the friendships that were draining your spirit to fade. The love that dimmed your heart's light to end. The environments that kept you small to collapse. The identity built from wounds to fall apart. Not because you were losing everything, but because you were being returned to something truer. There is a version of you that is deeply aligned with Allah. A version of you that breathes differently, walks differently, loves differently, sees differently. That version is now rising, not through force, not through effort, not through perfection, but through surrender. Every tear was a washing. Every heartbreak was a releasing. Every silence was a cleansing. Every loneliness was a calling. And the calling was always the same. Come back to who you were before the world touched you. This is not the end of you. This is the unveiling. Your old self had to die, so your soul could finally live. And very soon, you will meet yourself again. And this time, you will recognize who you have always been. A soul held by Allah. A heart softened by Allah. A self rebuilt by Allah. A new life is waiting. You are already walking toward it. There will come a day when you wake up and the pain that once controlled your life no longer feels like a wound. It will still be there, but it will not hurt the same way. It will sit inside your chest, like a memory that taught you something sacred. You will remember the nights you cried silently, with your hand pressed to your heart, wondering how much more you could carry. You will remember the days when your chest felt too heavy to breathe, when your mind was loud, when your world felt small, when your future felt blurred, and you will realize that was the moment Allah was reshaping you, not punishing, not abandoning, not forgetting, reshaping. He was loosening the grip your past had on you. He was draining the pain you swallowed for years. He was removing the identities that were built from wounds. He was turning your breaking into becoming. And becoming is never gentle. Becoming requires shedding. Shedding requires pain. Pain requires surrender. There were parts of you that could not go where your soul is now headed. Your softness had to be protected. Your heart had to be purified. Your self-worth had to be rebuilt. Your soul had to be awakened. So Allah took you through a process that did not make sense while you were inside of it. You didn't know you were being transformed. You thought you were being undone. But look at your heart now. Now, look at the way it feels things more truthfully. Look at the way it recognizes what is sacred. Look at the way it can tell when something is not meant for it. That is not weakness. That is clarity. Your tears softened you. Your silence refined you. Your loneliness rebuilt you. Your heartbreak returned you to Allah. You are not who you were. You are gentler now, but stronger. You are softer now, but wiser. You are quieter now, but deeper. And this depth was always in you. It was simply buried beneath the noise of who you were trying to be, just to survive. The old you was necessary for the journey that brought you here. But the old you was never the destination. You were always meant to grow out of that version, to rise from it, to bloom beyond it, to become someone softer, purer, truer, someone who seeks Allah not from desperation, but from love, someone who knows their worth, not because the world gave it to them, but because Allah wrote it in their soul. Someone who walks quietly, but whose presence carries a story of resurrection. You did not lose yourself. You returned to yourself. A self that is held by Allah. A self that trusts Allah. A self that knows Allah. And now, the world you will build from this new heart will not resemble the world you left behind, because it will be built from truth, from peace, from intention, from faith. Your new life begins, not when circumstances change, but when you do. And you have changed. You are no longer the person who breaks in silence. You are the person who rises in silence. Your story did not end at the breaking. It began there. What feels like delay is actually protection. There comes a time when your life feels like it has been placed on pause. You try to move. You try to progress. You try to grow. You try to rush toward what you feel ready for, but every door remains closed. Opportunities slip away. People drift away. Plans fail. Dreams stall. Everything feels like it is being held back by something unseen, and your heart breaks quietly in places no one sees. You say to yourself, everyone else seems to be moving forward. Why am I still here? Why am I delayed? What am I doing wrong? But you are not doing anything wrong. You are being protected. You are not being slowed down. You are being prepared. If Allah let everything happen when you asked for it, you would walk into blessings with the same heart that was once wounded, the same insecurities, the same emotional hunger, the same old habits, the same unhealed pain, and you would lose what you prayed for, because unhealed hearts cannot hold answered prayers. So Allah does not rush you. He delays. He delays not to punish, but to preserve. He delays because He loves you in ways deeper than your pain can currently understand. Look closer at your life. The things that didn't work out would have broken you if they did. The people who walked away would have destroyed your peace if they stayed. The opportunities that slipped from your hands were not blessings, they were traps wearing disguise. You think Allah took away something good, but Allah removes what looks good to protect you from what would have hurt your soul. Delay is not rejection. Delay is redirection. Allah is guiding your story toward a place your heart hasn't fully grown into yet. Your heartbreak is not a dead end. It is a turning point. Your silence is not emptiness. It is reset. Your waiting is not wasting. It is becoming. You are being shaped in ways you cannot see. There are feelings you needed to outgrow. There are wounds that needed to soften. There are fears that needed to dissolve. There are attachments that needed to fade. There are patterns that needed to break. You are not just waiting for what is written for you. What is written for you is waiting for you to become the version of yourself that can hold it. You are not behind. You are exactly on time. Because the timing of your life is not measured by the movement of the world. It is measured by the wisdom of Allah. And Allah is never late. Even when you cry, even when you ache, even when you whisper into the darkness, Ya Allah, I'm tired. He hears that. He counts every tear. He sees every moment you kept faith, even when you felt empty. He knows the weight of your patience. Nothing is being held from you. Everything is being positioned for you. The delay is not delaying your life. It is aligning your heart. Because the heart you have now is not the heart that will receive your future. You are becoming someone stronger, kinder, more trusting, more sincere, more at peace. Your future is not being built outside you. It is being built inside you. And one day, you will look back at this waiting period and whisper through tears, if it had come any earlier, I wouldn't have been ready. There are nights where you sit alone and the silence feels heavier than your chest can hold. You look at your life and you whisper, Ya Allah, why am I still here? Why hasn't anything changed? Why does it still hurt? And the answer doesn't come in words. It comes in the way your heart keeps beating, even when it feels tired. It comes in the way you keep going, even when your hope feels thin. It comes in the way your faith refuses to die. No matter how exhausted your soul is, that is not your strength. That is Allah holding you. Because if it was truly up to you, you would have given up a long time ago. The only reason you're still standing is because Allah never let go of your heart. You think you are waiting alone, but Allah is waiting with you. He is not delaying your blessing. He is walking you to it. But He is removing what cannot go with you. The fear that made you settle. The insecurities that made you chase love that harmed you. The impatience that made you rush your destiny. The wounds that shaped your identity. Your heart is being rewritten in this waiting, not to make you someone new, but to return you to who you always were, before life broke you and the world changed you. Your delay is not about timing. Your delay is about alignment. You are being aligned with people who will speak to your soul, not your ego. Opportunities that will strengthen your faith, not your pride. Love that will feel like emotional safety, not chaos. A life that nourishes your heart, not breaks it. And these kinds of blessings cannot arrive in the hands of a heart that is still bleeding. So Allah heals you slowly, even when you don't see it, even when you don't feel it, even when you don't understand it. There are wounds closing inside you. There are parts of you softening. There is strength forming quietly where the pain used to live. You think you are stuck, but the truth is, you are being refined. Your patience is not being tested. Your heart is being trained, because what Allah is preparing you for requires stability, requires maturity, requires emotional steadiness, requires spiritual depth, requires a heart that loves without losing itself. If Allah gave you what you are praying for right now, you might love it, but you would not know how to protect it. So He delays. Not to deny you, but to ensure that when your blessing arrives, it stays. And there will come a day, not far from now, where the weight you are carrying today will make sense. Your tears will make sense. Your heartbreak will make sense. Your waiting will make sense. Your heart will whisper, "Now I understand." Because the blessing you receive will not just enter your life, it will enter your heart in a way that feels like home, not rushed, not fragile, not uncertain, but written, protected, measured, and sent at the perfect time. Allah is not delaying you. He is protecting your destiny. And soon you will thank Him for every closed door. There will come a day where the waiting no longer feels like punishment. It will feel like protection. You will sit with your hands open, your heart calm, your breath steady, and you will understand. Not everything you wanted, it was good for your soul. Not every person you prayed to keep, it was meant to love you gently. Not every door you begged to enter would have brought you peace. Not every timing you tried to force was aligned with the chapter Allah was writing for you. You will look back and say, "If I had gone when I wanted, I would have walked into harm I couldn't see. If I had received what I asked for back then, I would have lost myself trying to keep it. I did now. If Allah gave me what I cried for, I would have been destroyed by the weight of it." You will realize the delay was not denial. The delay was mercy. Mercy you did not understand at the time. Mercy that looked like heartbreak. Mercy that felt like silence. Mercy that tasted like loneliness. Mercy dressed as emptiness. But mercy nonetheless. Allah was not delaying your life. He was building your foundation, because where you are going, your heart must be steady. Your faith must be anchored. Your identity must be rooted. Your worth must be known. Your love must be clean. Your soul must be awake. You cannot enter your future with the wounds of your past. So Allah slowed you down to heal what the world rushed. You were not waiting for life to begin. Life was waiting for you to return to yourself. The version of you who trusts Allah, even when the path is unclear. The version of you who no longer begs for love, but recognizes it when it is safe. The version of you who no longer fears loss, because they know nothing written for them can be taken. The version of you who no longer breaks when delayed, because they understand that delay is direction. And when that moment comes, when the heart no longer fights Allah's plan, you will feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Ease. Not because life suddenly changed, but because you did. The storm will still be there, but your chest will no longer shake inside it. The uncertainty will still surround you, but your soul will feel held. You will say with a quiet certainty, "What is mine is making its way to me, and what is not mine is being moved away from me. I don't need to chase. I don't need to force. I don't need to rush. I trust Allah, and that trust is when the delay ends. Because the delay was never about the blessing. It was about your heart learning to rest in Allah. And once the heart rests, the blessing arrives gently, quietly, beautifully, not as something you chase, but as something that was always coming. Your new life begins the moment you surrender. There comes a moment when your heart finally realizes that holding on is more painful than letting go. You have tried to control the timing. You have tried to fit your life into your plans. You have tried to understand every twist in your story. You have tried to carry wounds that were too heavy for one heart. You have tried to heal using the same hands that caused the breaking. And now you are tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. A tiredness of the soul. A heaviness behind the ribs. A quiet ache in the bones of your heart. This is the moment Allah has been guiding you to. The moment of surrender. Not giving up. Not stopping. Not collapsing. But releasing. Releasing the burden of being in control. releasing the fear of outcomes you cannot shape, releasing the grip on people who were never written to stay, releasing the version of yourself that was built out of survival, not faith. Your heart whispers, "I don't know what happens next." And Allah replies in the silence, "You don't need to. I do." Surrender does not mean weakness. Surrender means trust. It means choosing Allah's plan, even when your heart still aches for what it lost. It means believing there is goodness waiting, even when your hands feel empty. It means accepting that some chapters must close for your soul to breathe again. Rest where? It means letting your heart rest in the hands of the one who created it. Because when you surrender to Allah, you are not falling, you are being carried. Your tears are not signs of despair. They are signs that your soul is softening, returning, opening. You begin to realize you don't need to force anything. What is written will come. What is not will fade. You don't need to chase love. The heart that is written for you will recognize you. You don't need to beg for opportunities. The doors Allah intends to open will open effortlessly. You don't need to panic when life goes quiet. Silence is where Allah rearranges your heart. The transformation you begged for is already happening, not in loud, dramatic ways, but in the way your patience has deepened, in the way you no longer cling out of fear, in the way your heart has started to trust the unseen. Surrender feels like losing control, but in truth, you are returning control to the one who always had it. Your chest begins to loosen, your fears begin to soften, your thoughts begin to settle. You realize, I don't need to know how everything works. I only need to know that Allah never leaves me. And that knowing, it is where your new life begins. This life you're moving into will not feel like the life you came from. It will be slower, quieter, more sacred, more intentional. You will choose with your heart instead of your wounds. You will love with wisdom instead of longing. You will speak with softness instead of fear. You will walk with Allah instead of loneliness. You will not rush anymore, because the one who has surrendered no longer lives in anxiety. They live in assurance, assurance that Allah is already ahead of them, assurance that what is meant will find them, assurance that peace is not found in knowing outcomes, but in trusting the one who writes them. You will look back one day at the version of yourself who fought so hard to understand everything, and you will want to hold them gently. You will say, "You didn't have to suffer so loudly. Allah had you the whole time." And that is when the heart awakens, not in the moment of answered prayer, but in the moment of surrender. Because answered prayers arrive when the heart is ready to receive, and your heart is finally learning to let go and let Allah take over. This is the beginning of your new life. There will come a night when you are done trying to understand, done trying to fix what broke, done trying to hold together what Allah was gently loosening from your hands, done trying to carry life alone, not because you gave up, but because something inside you finally understands. This heart was never meant to do this without Allah. You stop asking, "Why did this happen?" and you start whispering, "Guide me through this." You stop saying, "Ya Allah, give me what I want," and you start saying, "Give me what is good for my soul." Your duas change. Your tone changes. Your breathing changes. Your entire way of loving, hoping, and walking through this world changes. Not through effort, through surrender. You begin to see the moments Allah was holding you, when your heart was breaking, but it did not shatter. When you felt alone, but you still found the strength to stand. When you cried quietly, but your faith remained. Those were not coincidences. Those were signs that Allah was closer to you during your pain than He ever was during your joy. The soul grows more in the moments of breaking than in the moments of ease. And you begin to realize what you called being delayed It was just Allah waiting for your heart to stop clinging to the wrong things. What you called being ignored, it was Allah silencing the world so you could hear Him. What you called loss was Allah clearing the space for something you cannot imagine yet. Your life is not falling apart. Your life is being redrawn, piece by piece. Softly, quietly, lovingly, there will come a sunrise where you wake up, and for the first time in a long time, your heart will not feel heavy. Your mind will not feel loud. Your soul will not feel tired. You will breathe in, and something inside you will whisper, "This is peace, not excitement, not adrenaline, not temporary happiness, but peace, the kind of peace that sits inside the bones, the kind of peace that cannot be broken by people, the kind of peace that remains even when life is uncertain." And that peace does not come from receiving what you wanted. It comes from trusting Allah, even when you didn't, from believing He was holding you, even when you felt like you were falling, from letting go, not because you had no choice, but because you finally realized Allah's plan was better than the one you were trying to write for yourself. And that realization is the moment of rebirth. This is the beginning of a new life, a life where fear no longer rules your heart, where desperation no longer shapes your choices, where patience is no longer heavy but natural, where faith is no longer a struggle but your resting place. And when you reach this point, your heart will whisper, "Ya Allah, whatever you choose for me, I choose too." And that is the moment your life opens, because the gates of destiny open for the heart that surrenders. This is where your new chapter begins, not with a change in your circumstances, but with a change in your soul. You are not waiting for the blessing anymore. You have become the person who can hold it. And now, everything written for you will begin to arrive in ways you never expected, and at a timing that feels like it was always meant to be. Your new life does not begin when things get easier. Your new life begins the moment you say, "Ya Allah, I trust you." There will come a day, maybe soon, maybe quietly, when you look back at every moment of pain, and instead of asking, "Why?" you'll whisper, "Subhanallah, it had to be this way." That, because the things you held on to so tightly were the very things that were dimming your soul. The love you begged to keep was draining you more than it was filling you. The people you couldn't imagine life without were slowly wearing away your spirit. The dreams you cried over when they slipped away would have taken you further from Allah, not closer. But you didn't know that then. So Allah used silence to show you what your eyes could not see. He used distance to show you who truly cared for your heart. He used loneliness to show you where your soul felt most at home. He used pain to show you what was not love. He used waiting to show you what was worth choosing. Every tear was a translation. Every pause was an answer. Every delay was a message. Every heartbreak was a doorway. You thought your story was being held back, but the truth is, your story was being rewritten, not rushed, not forced, not shaped by your fear, but shaped by your surrender. You learned to stop running after people who were walking away. You learned to stop proving your worth to hearts that couldn't see you. You learned to stop forcing love that was not written. You learned to stop trying to convince the world to choose you. And slowly, gently, quietly, you returned to the one who always had, to the one who never left, to the one who was holding you even when you didn't know, to the one who understood your tears without you saying a word, to the one who protected your heart from what it was begging for. Allah, the one who knew that your heart was capable of deeper love, softer love, holier love, a love that would not drain you but raise you. And now your soul knows. You are not meant to chase anything written for you. It will find you. It will recognize you. It will arrive in perfect timing, without force, without fear, without doubt. Because what is written for you does not need to be begged for, does not need to be convinced, does not need to be held with shaking hands. It will stay, simply because Allah sent it. Your heart is not waiting for a person. Your heart is waiting to be received by what is meant. And when it comes, it will not feel like excitement. It will not feel like a rush. It will not feel like intensity. It will feel like peace, like coming home to a place your soul remembered, long before your mind understood. You will breathe differently, not with fear, not with tension, not with longing, but with certainty. You will say, if Allah wrote it, I do not fear losing it. If Allah removed it, I do not chase it. If Allah delayed it, I trust His timing. And your heart, the same heart that once trembled with fear and attachment, will now feel still, still like a calm ocean, still like the air before dawn, still like the softness after crying, still like a soul that has finally come home. This stillness is not empty. It is full, full of Allah, full of trust, full of faith, full of quiet, sacred certainty. Your new life has already begun. Not when your circumstances changed, but when your heart did. You are no longer the person who fears loss. You are no longer the person who begs to be chosen. You are no longer the person whose soul shakes when delayed. You are the person who trusts, who knows that what is written for you will arrive in a way that feels gentle, effortless, guided, protected. You have not been waiting for the blessing. The blessing has been waiting for you to become the one who can hold it. And now you finally are. Your hands are open. Your heart is surrendered. Your soul is soft. And Allah is near. So near, closer than your breath, closer than the beat behind your ribs, closer than your own thoughts. And the heart that knows this never fears again. Take a breath, just one. You've carried so much, more than anyone knows, more than you ever admit, more than your heart should have ever had to hold. And yet, you're still here, not by accident, not by luck, but because Allah never left you, not for 1 second, not for one breath, not for one tear. Even in the nights you cried quietly, when no one saw, no one understood, no one reached for you. Allah did. He was closer to you in those moments than your own heartbeat. He heard the prayers you didn't know how to say. He saw the pain you couldn't put into words. He understood the heaviness you tried to hide. And every step you took, even the shaky ones, even the tired ones, even the broken ones, brought you here, to this moment, to this stillness, to this clarity, to this gentle return to Him. Your story is not ending. Your story is beginning. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are being carried. So now, place your hand on your heart for a moment. Feel it beating. That is not your heart keeping you alive. That is Allah saying, I am with you. And as you move forward from this moment, walk gently, walk slowly, walk with trust. Because Allah has already written the chapter where everything finally makes sense. And when it unfolds, you will look back at this version of yourself with tears in your eyes and say, I was never alone. May Allah heal what you don't speak of. May He strengthen what is tired inside of you. May He replace your pain with peace. May He make your heart a place where He lives. Ameen.